Alright, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome back to our class. I'm from Green. So we would like to continue our topic, our discussion on the shear stimuli in humans. So previously, as we know, we had learned about ears, about eyes. So now we know go to the next organ, sensory organ, which is nose. So are you ready, kids? So Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Very good morning to all of you. I hope you having a very good day for today. So eventually this is a recording videos according to the classes should be conducted on 11 o'clock, but then still I have something to do, so I prepared for you this class. So first and foremost, nose is the sensory organ for the third sensory organ, which is a sense of smell. Nose can detect smell, and also nose can detect smell. Smell are chemical. Actually, smell are chemical in the air. About 10 million sensory cells for smell located at the roof of the nasal cavity. Where is part of nasal cavity? Let's we find out where is nasal cavity. Right, this is your the structure of your nose. This is the exactly images from MRI. So from the what we call that, the technology for scanning for human. So nerve brain, there's nerve brain. As you can see on the screen, there's nerve brain. There's sensory smell receptor, which is there's the nasal cavity, nostril, lips, nasal, face, and also tongue. So sensory cell of smell are tiny and covered with layer of mucus. What I mean by mucus? Mucus adalah dalam bahasa Melayu dia adalah hingus, alright? Jadi mucus adalah hingus ataupun satu chemical yang cecair lah. So chemical substance in the air will dissolve. What we need to do is every single of us ada mucus dalam dia punya hidung, sebab untuk dissolve this layer of mucus, dia akan chemical substance akan dissolve and detect by the sensory cell. Stimulate the sensory cell to produce nerve impulse. As you know, nerve impulse sebelum saya cakap, nerve impulse is it's about information. The information transferred to the sent to the brain. So nerve impulse are sent to brain to interpret this type of smell. So eventually kalau korang nanti later on in class, kalau nanti korang akan rasa macam, oh ini bau se-Azri, ini perfume bau se-Azri, ini perfume se-Amar, ini bau perfume Cikgu Nafra and so on and so on. So dari situ kamu dapat maklumat berkenaan dengan smell, right? The smell itself. Then this is the clearer picture. This is a illustration on the nerve for the nasal cavity and also smell sensory. So we have sensory cell for smell. We have mucus. We have nose here. Nasal cavity. This nasal cavity means rongga hidung. Alright. There's here located of the sensory cell or smell receptor. Right. Go next to the second sensory organ, which is tongue. Tongue, the function is to sense the taste. Sense of taste. Okay, tongue detect taste, enable human to know taste of food. There's 5 main taste in human. Nanti kita akan discuss ini. Tapi lidahnya juga atau tongue juga boleh jadi senjata kepada kita. Jadi jagalah lidah kamu, jaga pertuturan kita ni semasa berkawan atau berhubung dengan manusia lain, right? Kerana lidah lebih tajam daripada pendam. Tiba cikgu jadi pendakwah. Alright, go. So tongue, surface of tongue is covered with tiny nodule, which is we call as papillae. Papillae. Alright, so surface of papillae is covered by 100 of taste bud. Each of taste bud contains 10 or 15 taste receptor, as we can see at the image. So they have a root of the tongue. Okay, kita punya apa pada lidah. We have bitter at the end of our tongue. We have sour, salty, and also sweet. There's only 4. Meanwhile, just now I said 5. Right? Another one is umami. Human can taste sweet, sour, bitter, salty, and umami. Taste of meat and in soup, fermented food like cheese, mushroom, and MSG is called as umami. Alright, so the function of taste bud. Let's go to the next slide. Function of taste bud. Food is chewed and part of the all chemical substance in food dissolved in saliva. Saliva apa? Saliva adalah air liur, right? Kat sini kita ada saliva air liur. So saliva will dissolve, the chemical substance will dissolve in the saliva, and dissolved chemical substance diffuse. It will diffuse. This word is very very important. Diffuse into the taste bud through the pores. Stimulate the taste receptor and pores produce nerve impulse. It will produce nerve impulse as usual, and then send the nerve impulse sent to the brain, and then brain will interpret either it's sweet, salty, bitter, umami, or combination of all. So when we cook or we eat, we can taste about the sweetness, for example, the fruit, the sweetness of fruit, right? The saltiness, the umami. And one question for you to ask about yourself: where did the hot or spicy taste take place in our tongue? Try to search that fact that where is salt, where is the spicy? We have, as you know, we have sweet, sour, salty, umami, and bitter. But where is hot? Where is spicy taste come from? You may search on Google and so on. I'll ask later on in class. Alright. So next sensory organ, which is skin. Skin is the sense of touch. The largest sensory organ. Okay, skin is an organ. Ingat, skin adalah sejenis organ. Kulit adalah organ kepada kita. Skin detect touch, heat, cold, pain, and also pressure. So this is the structure of our skin. So we have pores, we have hair and the epidermis, dermis, fatty layers, and oil gland, sweat gland, and nerve. Tengok kat situ. That's the structure of kita punya skin. Dermis means skin, layer. Epi means outer. So epi bermaksud outer. Dermis bermaksud surface. So kalau outer surface of the skin itu called as epidermis. Dermis itself is skin. Right, we have fatty layers. Fatty layer for what? For the insulator of heat and cold. So this is the graphic from the right. This is 2D graphic. You can see as cold receptor is there. We have pain receptor up there, heat receptor, touch receptor, pressure receptor. Then we have oil gland, dermis, epidermis, fat layers, and also nerve. So this is structure of the skin, right? So next, the skin is the body largest organ. Human skin made up of thin outer layer, epidermis, and inner layer, dermis. There are 5 types of receptor. We have about the stimulus, as we can see in the previous slide, which is we have cold, pain, heat, touch, and also pressure. So when the receptor stimulated, nerve impulse. Once again, nerve impulse. Hari-hari kita jumpa nerve impulse tu. Perkataan ni, nerve impulse are produced and sent through the nerve system to the brain. And again, we will send the information to the brain. The brain produce appropriate response. As you can see, if for example now you take a pen and then you put your own hand or put your own skin, then you will feel the stimuli, and your brain will say, "Oh, okay, this is a touch." That's it. So what is this? This is the mechanism of sight of human. So just now we just over about the sensory organ. Now we go to the mechanism of sight in human. So this is what happens whenever you look at an object. So light reflected as an object, as you can see, enter through the cornea, ectohumal pupil, real lens, and vitreous humor. This part will focus the light ray into retina. As the previous class, I explained about this part of human eyeball. So eyes lens bend the light rays and focus them into the retina. Light rays stimulate. The object form in retina is smaller and inverted. Why is smaller? Because the presence of the lens. Okay, inverted because of the lens. Because you can see here, the lens will invert the image. Alright, and then nerve impulse sent to the brain interprets nerve impulse, the smaller inverted brain retina will appear upright. That's the way how we as a human see object. It's different from the animals, right? Because we have different structure of eyes. So this is about human. Okay, next, a mechanism of human, we have go to the cornea, where the light enter the cornea, ectohumal pupils, eyes lens, vitreous humor, retina, and optic nerve, and also brain. So this is the pathway for the information for sight. And then this is for mechanism of hearing of human, source of sound. Okay, so we have earlobe. This is earlobe. You can receive and gather sound wave. Ear canal, sound wave eardrum and vibrate. Eardrum with vibration amplified by optical. Still remember the optical structure. Sent through the cochlea through the oval windows, and then optical, and then vibration to oval window. Vibration to cochlea, nerve cell in cochlea convert sound vibration to nerve impulse. Then nerve impulse will go to the auditory nerve, and then nerve impulse are sent to the auditory nerve to the brain to be interpreted. That's the way how you can understand the word that I say right now because of the vibration from the source of sound, which is for this issue, for this example, you can hear by your earphone or your device, which is your microphone, your speakers, right? The sound wave is collected by earlobe and then cranial, eardrum, optical, over window, cochlea, and then change into the nerve impulse to the brain for the interpretation. Alright, this is another one is sensitivity of skin on different part of the body towards stimuli. Sensitivity of the skin towards stimuli depends on the number of receptor on the skin surface, thickness of the skin epidermis. So at the end of the tips, so macam kalau hujung jari kita, nose, tongue, lips are very sensitive toward touch. Alright, why? Sebab has a larger number of receptor and a thin epidermis. Maksudnya kat situ kulit kita nipis dan banyak sangat receptor di situ. So kita sangat-sangat sensitif di situ. Manakala cuba kamu cubit hujung siku kamu. Hujung siku kamu ataupun kamu cubit tapak kaki kamu. Situ kulitnya agak tebal dan situ kurang receptor. That's the reason why there is less sensitivity at the part of human body. Next, what about elbow, sole, feet and body less are sensitive because there are less receptor here. Macam saya cakap tadi lah, kamu siku, kamu tapak kaki, dekat belakang badan lebih kurang sensitif sebab kurangnya receptor. But sensitivity of tongue towards different taste stimuli, we have about 5 of sense. Tongue can detect 5 types of tastes: sweet, sour, salty, bitter, and umami. Each taste is detected by different type of receptor. Area of tongue are sensitive to all 5 tastes, but different areas have different sensitivity toward the specific taste. So this is very specific. For example, we have bitter at the end of our tongue, sour on the second one, and then sweet. Sweet is at the tips, and then salty at the area of left and right in front of the tongue. And last but not least, umami. Umami is all over the tongue. Alright, so we'll go to combination of sense and taste. Sense of taste and sense of smell. Can the children enjoy eating fried chicken? Does smell play a role when tasting food? Yes. Bila bau makanan sedap, rasanya masih sedap. Because of what? Because of smell and taste are interrelated sensory organ, alright? Sensory sense, sensory yang berkait rapat sama lain. Sebab tu kalau kudus yang ada family ataupun family members atau rakan-rakan semua yang ada post COVID-19 punya effect, dia akan hilang dia rasa atau hilang dia bau, dia akan menyebabkan kekurangan rasa makan macam makan tak syok macam tu. Alright, so limitation of sense of sight. Sekarang kita masuk kepada limitation. Human is not superpower. There is some limitation. For example, limitation of sight, limitation ability to see. The eyes to see object. Cannot see very tiny object. Cannot see very distant object. Limitation of optical illusion and also blind spot. Kita ada beberapa limitation. Maksudnya contoh kalau benda terlalu jauh sangat, macam jodoh kita terlalu jauh tak nampak dengan mata tiba-tiba. Ataupun terlalu kecil, microorganism macam bakteria, macam COVID-19, virus semua kita tak boleh tengok. So kita kena gunakan microscope. Right, this is the example of optical illusion. Kalau awak tengok dekat ni, image yang pertama, image A, which are longer. Actually, no, there's no difference because this is only optical illusion. You can see these two lines are actually the same size. Alright. Meanwhile, which other spot is larger? Which spot is larger in the center? X or Y? Actually, it's the same because of the side will interrupt you to identify which one is bigger. Okay, actually X and Y are the same size. Meanwhile, the sides of the square, straight or curve actually is a straight. Because of what? Because this is optical illusion. This is an illusion for you. Alright? And then factor causing optical illusion. Optical illusion occur. What mean by optical illusion? Occur when our brain cannot interpret accurately what is actually seen by the eyes due to the distraction. Yes, this is distraction. For example, this one is distraction for this image. This one is distraction for this image. Meanwhile, the circle is distraction for the image. That's the reason why we can interpret nicely, you cannot interpret accurately because of the distraction. Without distraction around lining pin, you can see as here, PQ and RS is the same this length, this straight line. So this is example of optical illusion. As you can see, there's a lot of example here. Later on you can see by yourself. I would like to move to blind spot. Blind spot, what do you mean by blind spot? Blind spot does not have any photoreceptor and we cannot see an object if it image form on it. Maknanya dekat blind spot ni, dekat area yellow spot, ingat lah structure mata bawah daripada retina tu. Nak tengok balik. Okay, jom kita tengok balik. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is eyes? Oh, right here they are. So beside, okay, this is one. This is the blind spot. The yellow spot should be the area for the image will form, but then blind spot cannot receive any images because it don't have photoreceptor. So whenever the light or the image is formed on the blind spot, we can't see anything. Alright, next is color blindness. This is very interesting. Color blindness is inability to distinguish color between red and green and between blue and yellow caused by defect in the retina. This is caused by genetic, most probably because of genetic. For example, myself is colorblind. I am a green color blindness and also red color blindness. So it's not, you cannot totally look into that color, but then it's hard to differentiate between two colors. For example, dark red and also black. Sometimes I'll say dark red will become black. That's a very unique color blindness because of defect in the retina. There's problem in the retina. Next is limitation of sight. So limitation of sight. Okay, the limitation of sight device to overcome the limitation of sight. So we as a human have limitation on our sight. We don't have superpower. So we need some device that can help us to see things better. For example, when we cannot see through objects that are not transparent, alright, we cannot see what is underneath this layer. So we need X-ray machine, ultrasound scanning device, and so on. So we can go through the object, so we can see underneath what is happening underneath the layer. Alright, next, this cannot see object very far away. For example, we have to use binocular and also telescope. We cannot see properly about planets and the object that very far away. Right? We have to use binocular and also telescope. And then next is cannot see objects that are very tiny. For example, bacteria, microorganism, viruses. So we need to use magnifying glasses and also microscope. Last but not least, cannot see around corner. We use periscope. For example, in the submarine, we use periscope to see what is the surface of the ocean, to see what is enemy is going on. Okay, this is the limitation of sight. This is, for example, ultrasound machine, image of telescope and also microscope. Okay, this is projectional radiography, X-ray generator, object and X-ray detector. This is how the X-ray projector are working. Alright, we can see underneath the skin what is happening to the bone. When there's fracture or there's damage on the bone. Alright, I think I stop here for the video. I'll continue on the effect of the sight. So thank you so much for watching this video. I'll see you on next week, hopefully. So take care, stay safe, and we end our class with tasbih kafarah and salam. Bismillah. Alright, bye bye. See you. Assalamualaikum.